I'm Tyson Geick. You're watching the NLL Flash. Now, before I start this video, there's something that I wanted to touch on. Back in the fall, the lacrosse family lost one of our own, Casey Guerin. I said then that the first episode of the Relax reboot would be dedicated to Casey, and unfortunately there has been no Relax reboot, but I thought it would only be fair that the first episode of the NLL Flash that had to do with the Saskatchewan Rush would be dedicated to our friend Casey. So Casey, this one's for you, man. Evan Schemenauer of Lacrosse Classified joins us now. Evan, last weekend the New England Black Wolves take down the Saskatchewan Rush by just one goal, and with a team like the Rush, we always seem to be asking the question, what did the Rush do wrong in order to lose? But what was it that the Black Wolves did so right in this game in order to come up with the win, and should other teams be studying this formula?
Well, the Black Wolves did two things very right in that game. The first thing they did was they pushed the defense out a lot further and forced the Rush to make decisions a lot faster than they're used to. This caused the Rush to create a lot of turnovers, a lot of missed passes. Not only were they sometimes getting pushed quickly to make a decision, but also in certain situations, the Black Wolves weren't even pushing out, but the Rush were expecting them to, and once again, the Rush pass meant that a turnover was occurring. And the biggest example you saw of this was in the last possession in the opening quarter, where Ryan Keenan took the ball over half, expecting to set up for a 6-on-5, not in any rush to do anything because they needed to kill some time. And John LaFontaine comes up, clocks him, caused a turnover, and LaFontaine shoots it into an empty net. And you think about it, in a one-goal game, that empty netter was the difference at the end of the day. The other thing the Black Wolves did very well was they stopped the transition game. Not a single Rush defenseman had a point the entire night, and that's something that's almost unheard of. So if you can stop that transition game, it stops the Rush from getting on these runs that really can kill most teams when they're playing them.
Next up for the Rush is the San Diego Seals, who were held to just 5 goals in their most recent loss to the Calgary Roughnecks last weekend. What do you expect the plan of attack to be in this one?
The game plan in Saskatoon literally is going to be settle down, get your possessions, start trying to create mistakes. If they can get San Diego to take a lot of penalties, which they haven't done in the last couple of games, they can cause those odd man situations. Saskatchewan's going to have a lot of success. They've been very lethal on the power play, both in their exhibition game against Calgary and in the game against New England. That's really going to be one key for San Diego, is to try and stay disciplined in this one. And the other thing they're going to simply do is just calm down, use that seventh man. And for those that have never been to the SaskTel Center, it's an older building built in the 1980s, and the roof is very low, so the sound just echoes off the roof. You really can't hear much of what's going on, and the Seals are not going to be able to talk to one another that well on defense. So if this Rush can just basically get their set plays going, cause the confusion, they're going to be fine on offense and should take this one handily.
A handful of Rush players who won a handful of championships will be suiting up for the Seals this weekend. It seems like the perfect time to be hosting a banner-raising home opener.
Yeah, we got 5 players from last year's Rush team that are now going to be in San Diego next year. And we start with Adrian Sorochetti, of course, who was picked up in the expansion draft. Dan Dawson, who was picked up in free agency, as was Tyler Carlson when he was released here after training camp. And also 2 players from the practice roster, Tor Reinhold and Johnny Pearson. It's going to be real nice to have everybody back. It's a little bit of a fluke because this was not supposed to be the banner-raising night. Banner-raising night was supposed to have been December 8th against Colorado, but of course that game was canceled. And so it worked out very well for everyone. And you have to remember, Rush Nation, they're very loyal to players, even players that have played here in the past and no longer with the team. So it's going to be really nice for them to be able to appreciate those players who contributed to the last year's championship. And I think back to 2016 when the Rush were putting up the banner and for that season, and Zach Greer came around, and the fans actually had asked the team, can you present his ring to him on the field so that we can also appreciate him? And that was actually a very nice moment that changed how things were done, and it's going to be nice to have those 5 guys there as well.
Well, Evan Schemenauer, thank you very much, and we'll look forward to having you on the NLL Flash very soon. The Saskatchewan Rush look to draw to 1-1 on the season, while the Black Wolves sit at 1-1 themselves. For the NLL Flash, I'm Tyson Geick, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, folks.